Hi, my name is Agnes Morago, caregiver, life coach. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Divine Calling. Why Divine Calling? Divine Calling, as the name divine, is a path that I have taken after finding myself in a situation that I never thought I would find myself in. And that's why I have decided to come forth and help people learn more about caregiving. Because this is a situation that you might find yourself in, you might find a relative in, and you might not know how to navigate yourself through the challenges that come forth. But with the help of I and so many people out here with information, information is power. If you learn something, you should pass it on to the next person. First things first, why did I choose today to start my YouTube channel? Today is a very special day to me and my family members. Today is 22nd October 2024. Today marks 8 years since my dad passed on. I want to dedicate this channel to him and my mom. May his soul rest in peace. And I just want to tell you guys that family is everything. It doesn't matter where you come from, as long as you were birthed by a father and a mother, that is your family. As long as you have brothers and sisters, those are your families. Yes, I know that we've got friends that come through for us even more than how family comes through for us. But let me tell you for free today that your family is the only unit that can uphold you in times of crisis. Welcome. Learn from my story. Divine calling came about, let's say, 4 years ago. I didn't know I would find myself as a caregiver. I used to tell people, how do people go out there, take care of old people instead of staying in their country, work for their country, and push their country forward? I didn't know that I would be a caregiver one day. This is my story. I come from a family of seven, five siblings, and two parents. I grew up in Kariobangi South. Most people that know us know that Kariobangi South is an area that we've grown, we've lived over the years, and I am 42 years old now. And even after I left my family, because it reaches a point that you have to get married or you have to move out, I didn't move far away from my parents. As I was growing up, I used to tell my parents that I would never leave them. That even if I got married, I would be leaving my husband in their house, in my house, and then I'll be coming back to them every single day. And my dad used to laugh and say that let's wait and see, and let's wait for that day to come and see what will happen. Oops, never came to be. I got married, but my marriage didn't work. But I have a daughter, a beautiful daughter. We do co-parent with the father, who is a great father. I just respect the father of my child, and we've got a good relationship because at the end of the day, it's about our children, right? But I'm not here to talk about my children or my baby daddy today. Today, I'll talk about the journey that took me or led me on to become a caregiver. 8 years ago, when my dad rested, I had already separated with the father of my child. My other four siblings are in their homes, they've got families. I was the only one who was easy to be able to come back home to stay with my mom. Why stay with my mom? My dad and my mom were best friends. They met at a very tender age. I remember back during when we were growing up, we used to hear stories of them saying that they used to walk to school together as little as standard three, because now we've got grades. Back then it was standard. So they knew each other at a very, very young age. They were best friends. Actually, in my dad's eulogy, my mom mentioned, in her tribute, my mom mentioned that my father was her best friend and she had lost the love of her life. So when we sat down as family, we decided, since I was the one who was near my mom, I'm the one who would move in back with my mom. So I was fine with it because I used to work, I used to have a good paying job, and it was not a problem to live with my mom because my mom is my best friend. My mom is my support system. Ever since I knew my mom, she's my first girlfriend. We are close. I love my mom with my all, and it doesn't matter the challenges that we go through, because in families, of course, you've got to have some arguments here and there, but we find our way and resolve our issues and move on with life, because at the end of the day, we move on, forgive and move on. So I moved in back. My mom was so elated because I came back with her granddaughter, and they are friends. They've really bonded over the years because up to now, I live with my mom. And as people say, everything happens for a reason. It was a blessing in disguise that I came back here. So life went on, things are okay. Let's fast forward, come COVID 2019. If you remember, there was a cessation of movement. People never used to move far. You will just be around the neighborhood. My mom is a hard worker. My mom wakes up at 5. Until today, I ask her, where do you go? Where do you want to go this early morning? But she says, the early bird catches the worm. It doesn't matter what you have woken up to do. It doesn't matter if you've woken up to pray. It doesn't matter if you've woken up to read. It doesn't matter if you've woken up to do something that you love, as long as you set that tone of waking up early, it's a consistent thing that happens, and you find yourself doing a lot in the morning hours. So she runs a shop. She was employed by the government for a very, very long time. And after her retirement, she started a business. She started a shop where she does sell braids, sell mafutas, sell oils, this beauty stuff. You can never go wrong with beauty stuff, by the way. If you really want to invest in a business, go for beauty shops and stuff. I'll fill you in on that some other day. So, come 2019, when COVID struck, my mom started getting arthritis. She had arthritis, but it was not as it was mild. So, with the cessation of movement, there's no much movement. People are staying at one place. She wakes up, goes to her shop. There's no movement up to. She loved going back to the countryside to visit. She couldn't go, so most of the time she was in Nairobi. Life became difficult because at a certain point in her life, the arthritis came and took toll on her. So she couldn't even move. If she's making movements, it's minimal movements. It wasn't a problem because at that time we had a good house assistant who used to take care of all the house chores, who used to take care of everything that my mother needed because I had to go to work. My daughter was in school. At least the institution that I used to work for was a flexible institution. And it really favored me because I've worked with them for 12 years. I used to work with them. But now, after COVID, after things went haywire, my job started going down. We got fewer clients. We started getting half salary, like most of the people, because we are all witnesses of what happened during COVID time. So, my mom used to see her doctors. She used to be done injections on her knee. But it reached a point where those doctors told her, we can't do any more injections. The only thing that can salvage you now is a surgery. And this surgery will incapacitate you for some time because you'll need time to recuperate, you'll need time to heal. So she had to stay indoors, which was not a problem again because we had a house assistant. I knew everything would be fine. So again, our brothers and sister are so supportive. What we did, we held a meeting and decided that mom has to make a decision if she wants to go for that surgery. We were reluctant for a while because we wanted to seek a second opinion and maybe even a third, because you know how theater is and how surgery is. But my mom is the one who was in pain. So she told us, guys, I know you mean me well, but I have already decided that I am going to go for that surgery. So we had to agree. Mom went in for surgery. The surgery was successful. She stayed in hospital, I think, like 4 days, and then left and came home. And everything was okay up until a few weeks on. We started realizing that our house assistant does not want to tend to my mom. You know, after you've been done a kneecap replacement, because that is what my mom had been done, it was on her right leg. She couldn't do most of the things. She used to wake up, she's helped from out of her bed, comes to the sitting room and does her breakfast. Sometimes she used to opt to do her breakfast in the bedroom, but most of the time she used to spend it into the bedroom. And you know, once you've had such kind of a surgery, it's difficult to use the bathroom. So we used to use incontinent pans or sometimes a bedpan on my mom. But we came to realize that this house assistant that we had employed did not want to help my mom when she was going for a call. So it became to be something very serious and very difficult. So after a few weeks, she requested to leave. You can't stop someone who's come to work and they really want to go. Maybe they got greener pastures. She didn't exactly tell us as to why she was leaving, but she told us that she's gone back home to take care of her mom who was ailing. You cannot stop someone from going back home to take care of their mom. So I told my mom, there's no problem. We've got bureaus that have house assistants. We're gonna get another one. So we employed the second house assistant. She came. I remember that lady was a bit quiet, but she used to be hands on. She really helped my mom. We had already briefed her on the situation that was there. We told her that my mom remains home alone, so she'll need someone to take care of her on a 24/7, at least help her out. At that time, my mom had not started these exercises of walking outside the house or going for physio and stuff. It was first the beginning of this first few weeks where she's being done reviews and most of the time that she's in the house. Oops, it happened again. After like 2 weeks, the lady said she wants to leave. We employed the third, and the fourth, and the fifth. So I sat down with my family. I told them the situation that we had because, guys, you know, it's not easy to look for house assistants out here. You bring someone in the house, they work for 2 to 3 days, and then they tell you, I want to go. There's nothing you can do. You just have to go back out again and look for another person who is willing to come and look for a few coins or a few money to fend for their family. So it became a consistent thing until I decided where I'm working, COVID is here. Yes, the money is good. Yes, I'm going to work every day. I'm fending for my daughter because I'm a single parent now. But the luck that I had is that my baby daddy is a supportive parent. So I talked to him and told him the situation that I had, and I told him that I will not be able to chip in looking after our daughter. Could he be able to do it for now and I stop working and I look after my mom? He didn't have a problem. He told me there's no problem. A parent is our second God. So I made a decision because I knew financially Angel would be covered in her school, Angel will be covered in her education, and that is the most serious thing at of the moment. My mom at this time, she had already closed her shop. Now it's almost going to a month. You know how Juakali works or how business works. If you're not consistent in opening, your customers are going to just go to the next door because they need that thing that they are looking for. So I made a decision and I told my mom that I'm going to quit my job. She couldn't believe at first. She told me, no, you can't quit your job because this is what you depend on. I told her, listen, mom, you gave birth to me. You brought us up. You love us. The rest of us would want to take care of you, but they're in their families. At least there's a reason I came back home to look after you after Baba died. So I'm going to do it wholeheartedly. So I did it. I quit my job, a well paying job. And it's not only my job that I quit my life. Those who are close to me can attest that I stopped my social life. I stopped everything for my mom. I have never been in a Juakali sector ever again. All I knew was white collar jobs, get into work at 8, do your load at 5 p.m., leave, go home, enjoy time with your family. But this thing of waking up, going to look for stuff, because the shop that my mom owns, you have to go to various places to look for braids, have to look for oils. There's a place in town that we go to, it's called Dubois, or is it Dubois? It's a hassle. You get tired. You can't pamper yourself. You can't do your nails. And if you do them, they just crack off or they just become dull because you're carrying a sack full of braids. You're carrying a sack full of oils and all these things. You have to go back to the shop. You have to go and merchandise that shop. You have to keep it up to a standard. It was a new thing that I was learning. But hey, I can take on a challenge. I love challenges. So my mom told me, just embrace your new life. And if you love what you do, it's going to love you right back. So that's when I made that decision and I said, I'm going to be there for my mom. And that's where my journey with caregiving started. So, my first time in the shop, my mom tells me, you have to welcome visitors. You have to tell them, hi, welcome, because we are in a market. There are shops, more than, what can I say, more than 50 shops in that place. And where you are at, there are more than 10 shops that are selling what you're selling. So my mom told me, you have to push your product. You have to sell your product. You have to engage your clients. Because if you just sit back and lean on your chair, that's it. They're going to go to the next door because they've been welcomed there. And guess what? I'm used to sitting in an office, swinging on a chair like this, waiting for people to come and I talk to them about the kind of job that I do, because mostly it was an institution. I used to sell courses. I used to tell people how our institution is good. Come study in our institution. Now, this was a bit different, but I said, I'm going to embrace it. So I took it up, ran with it. I made Google my friend. I would wake up in the morning, go and open that shop, get into Google, study about Darling, study about Avis, study about products that are in the market and what benefits they have. Let's take, for example, it's a facial product. I will study on skin. I would learn what dry skin needs. I would learn what sensitive skin needs. I would learn what combination skin needs, and I will sell products. Let's take, for example, you come to the shop and tell me, oh, I've got this acne. The first thing I would ask you is, do you know your skin type? I would recommend you to go to a beauty shop and do a skin test. We've got a chemist in the same market that does skin tests. I would send them there. They will do their skin test. Then they will come back and tell me, maybe my T-zone is dry and maybe my cheeks are oily. I would know what to give them. Why? I would sit, study what I'm selling. And that's why I want to encourage you people. If a challenge comes into your way, or if something comes into your way, don't back out. Just embrace it, because God knows where you are at that time. and he knows why. He wants you to learn on what you are at or where you are at right that place. So this is what I used to do. I used to wake up very early in the morning. I adapted my mom's way. I used to wake up very early at 4 a.m., sorry, cook. People would hear onions and what are these spices smelling at 5 in the morning, and maybe people would wonder, did these people sleep or did they eat? Why do they wake up early in the morning to cook? But I had to do it because I knew that my mom could not be able to cook. We don't have a house assistant. There was no need of employing a house assistant who wouldn't look after my mom and looks after the house, and I stay in the house looking after my mom and this other lady to do the cooking. At the end of the day, where would we even get that money to pay her? You get me? So I assumed both roles. I was a house assistant, I was a daughter, I was a mother, I was a shop attendant. So I used to wake up at 4, start my cooking. My daughter wakes up at 5. So my daughter would wake her up at 5, prepare her to go to school, take her to the bus where the bus picks her at 6. Once she goes to school, I come back in the house, prep everything for my mom, her shower, because she wakes up so early to do all these things for herself. I shower her, I make sure that she's comfortable. We take breakfast together while chatting. I told you she's my best friend. You just don't wake her up, give her breakfast, and leave her. I used to open that shop at around 10 a.m. The people that are at Kariobangi South Market, because that's where the shop, where my mom's shop is, can attest to this. My neighbors there used to ask me, what do you do in the house? And we come here at 8 in the morning, you come at 10. You really love to sleep. Then I tell her, yeah. I love my sleep. But it was not my sleep. I used to spend time with my mom, talking to my mom, wanting to know how she is. I used to hear her in the night because she was operated on around May. So we were approaching June, and how June is cold. I used to hear her cry at night, and she is so spiritual. She loves her God. She used to pray and tell God, take this pain away from me. I wish there was a way you would take pain away from someone. You would really even do it. But now, once morning came, my work was to make sure that she's happy and find out what she needed. So at around 9 a.m., I tell her, Mom, now I'm going to open the shop, and then I would go. She would bless me, and she would tell me that God is with me. She would tell me, just work hard, and God is going to open a door for you. So there was a complication with her knee as we went by, so she wasn't able to get back on her feet as fast as we thought. So she stayed at home for an year plus, me holding the shop for her, being there for her, taking care of her, taking care of business as usual, because a mother cannot stop. You are an all-round person. But I want to say this, guys, I really thank God for what I went through. This is why after my mom got better, she gave me her blessing. And she told me, Shiro, go and do care, because you can care for a loved one. I said, for real? And she's like, yes, go and do care. Because care comes from the heart. Care is about compassion. Care is about empathy. And all that you have. I told her, yes, I've done it because you're my mom. Then she's like, no, someone else might need your help somewhere. And now, since you stopped working where you were and you have tried to get back on, but years have passed, things went by. I wasn't able to get back to that institution as I thought. So I stood and did care. So since I had already left work, I got support from my sister. She paid a school for me. Actually, she told me, When I discussed everything with her and told her what mom had told me, she told me, go look for a school, go look for an institution that you can do care. But this time round, focus on this. Um, Look at a further scope, that it's not a must that you'll get a job in Kenya. You might get a job abroad, you might get a job in Australia, in the UK, sorry, or elsewhere. So look for a school that has good content. Because at the end of the day, even if you came back to work in an outside country, they will still train you with their system, but at least you'll have had some background. You won't be so fresh into caregiving. So I took her advice. Google again was a friend. I started Googling about schools in Kenya that have or offer caregiving. I found one. Why did I choose this institution? I chose this institution because my sister made that choice for me. How did she do it? She looked at their catalog, she looked at what they are offering, she looked at the equipment that they had, and she told me, Shiro, this is the school. Well, I'm not going to mention the school here, but I'm going to leave my number in the description box below. And if you are interested, I can connect you to that school, and you're going to learn things that you never thought you knew, and things that are going to help you and your family members learn about care. And with that, that is why I want to start this YouTube channel, because I got an open mind of why caregiving is important in our society. So I dedicate this episode to my dad, because today is 22nd October, 8 years after he passed on. I'm actually rocking his favorite shirt. Those who know him, or those who know as well, know that my dad loved this shirt. My dad will rock this shirt almost 2 to 3 times in a week. He loved this shirt with a passion. So, in one of the things that I held back after he went to be with the Lord is this shirt. And that's why I'm starting this YouTube channel, welcoming everybody to come and like and share and subscribe. Be the first to find my episodes once they are uploaded, because what I have to give is something that can help you, your loved one, your family, your guardian. As I was starting this channel, I said this: if you love your parents, if you've not been brought up by your parents, if you've been brought up by your grandparents, if you've been brought up by an uncle, if you've been brought up by your auntie, you will help someone grow up. We have to change our generation. We have to take care of our elders, because our elders are full of wisdom. What we know and what we do now is because of what we've been taught by our elders. And our elders are our loved ones. Don't let an old person go without care. Don't let an old person or a guardian or someone you love get care from a house assistant that does not understand what they are doing. So, I welcome you. Join me every Friday starting next week, November 1st, for my ever first video on caregiving. Come, let's learn together. I am not an expert. We shall be engaging together. I know there are people who are qualified more than I do, but I know information is power. If I give my information out, someone out there will get help. So come, I'll share what I learned in this institution. And I know if you learn more on care, we are going to be a nation that is full of caregivers. And that's all we need. So join me every Friday On Divine Calling, let's learn about care. I am a caregiver, and now you are too.